Shalom, welcome back. This is part 6 of our series on the Idra Rabba, the Greater Assembly. In part 5, we've moved through the nose, the ears, and the mouth of Zeir Anpin. We talked about breath, we talked about divine listening, we talked about the mouth as the place where breath becomes word, Torah, blessing, and prophecy. And today we stay with the mouth, but we widen the frame, because around the mouth of Zeir Anpin is the beard, the Dikna. And if you remember part 3, we already spent a whole episode on the beard of Atika Kadisha, the holy ancient one. That beard had 13 channels, 13 Tikkunim, all of them pure mercy, white mercy, ancient mercy, mercy before judgment ever enters the picture. But Zeir Anpin also has a beard, and this beard is different. The beard of Zeir Anpin has 9 corrections, 9 tikkunim, and these 9 are not pure, unfiltered mercy the way the beard of Atika is. They are stronger, darker, more forceful. They belong to the face that actually governs the world we live in. The face that answers prayer, but also the face that deals with justice, consequence, struggle, enemies, and repair. And the simplest way to say it is this: the beard of Atika is mercy before the world. The beard of Zeir Anpin is mercy inside the world. And that makes all the difference. Let us begin now. And on the face, the beard surrounds the mouth. That means it shapes the way divine speech comes down. It frames the mouth. It controls what can pass from the inner world into the outer world. In Atika Kadisha, the beard is white, delicate, and entirely merciful. But in Zeir Anpin, the beard is black, strong, and heroic. The Zohar compares it to a mighty man, a warrior, someone who has the strength to win battles. And again, do not hear that in a crude way. This is not violence for its own sake. This is divine strength when it's aligned with mercy. This is the power to protect holiness, the power to confront distortion, the power to hold a boundary. That is what Zeir Anpin is. Not mercy floating above life, but mercy strong enough to enter life. Now, the Zohar tells us that the beard of Zeir Anpin has 9 tikkunim, and later it gives us another key. When the 13 channels of the beard of Atika shine into the 9 channels of Zeir Anpin, the two together become 22. 13 plus 9, 22 channels. 22 like the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. In other words, when ancient mercy enters revealed power, speech itself becomes blessed. The letters become blessed. The whole structure of divine expression becomes alive. That is the big picture. Now, let us walk through the 9. The first tikkun begins from the sides of the head. The hairs descend from under the locks above the ears, in front of the opening of the ear, and they come down toward the corner of the mouth. So notice the pathway: ear to mouth, hearing to speech, listening to expression. This is not random. In part 5, we said that the ears of Zeir Anpin receive voices. Prayer enters through the ear. Cries enter through the ear. The sounds of the world rise and are gathered there. But those sounds cannot just stay in the ear. They have to move toward the mouth. They have to become response. So, the first channel of the beard begins near the ear and moves toward the mouth. That is a deep teaching about prayer. When you pray, you are not just asking God to hear you. You are asking that hearing to become speech. You are asking that the divine ear become the divine mouth. You are asking that your cry become an answer. The second tikkun moves around the mouth itself. The hairs go from one corner of the mouth to the other, above the upper lip, and then descend beneath the lower lip. The mouth is frame. The opening of speech is surrounded. And this is important because divine speech is never careless. It is not just words spilling out. Speech has a frame. Blessing has a frame. Torah has a frame. Judgment also has a frame. The beard around the mouth tells us that the mouth of Zeir Anpin is powerful, but not uncontrolled. The Zohar says that when this tikkun is illuminated by the beard of Atika, it is called merciful. And when it connects with another correction, it is called truth. That is beautiful. The speech that comes through this mouth has to hold both mercy and truth. Mercy without truth becomes fantasy. Truth without mercy becomes cruelty. But when the beard is properly arranged, the mouth speaks truth in a merciful way, and mercy in a truthful way. That is what we want from heaven. And honestly, that is what we should want from ourselves. The third tikkun is the path under the nose. There is a channel under the two nostrils. But in Zeir Anpin, it is not completely clear. Tiny, rough hairs fill that path. And here, the Zohar is showing us the difference between Atika and Zeir Anpin in a very precise way. In the beard of Atika, certain paths are open, smooth, and completely merciful. But in Zeir Anpin, the path under the nose has friction. It has hair in it. It is not fully open. Why? Because this is the world of relationship. This is the world where people make choices. This is the world where actions have consequences. So the flow is not blocked, but it is not effortless either. Mercy is available, but it has to pass through the reality of judgment. That is why the third tikkun matters. It teaches us that not every delay is rejection. Sometimes the channel is open, but the passage is tight. Sometimes mercy is moving, but it is moving through resistance. Sometimes the answer is coming, but it has to come through the world as it actually is, not the world as we wish it were. The fourth tikkun is the hair that rises and covers the cheeks like a fragrant offering. The Zohar connects this to the verse. His cheeks are like a bed of spices. The cheeks become glory and majesty. They become the royal garments of the king. This is the first time the beard of Zeir Anpin starts to feel visibly regal. Not just functional, not just a channel, a garment, a presentation, a way the king appears. And that matters because Zeir Anpin is the king. He is the revealed face of divine sovereignty. So the beard is not only transmitting light, it is also clothing the face with dignity. It gives the face a form that can be encountered. The fifth tikkun is one of the most beautiful. The hair stop, and the two apples of the face become visible. The cheeks are uncovered. They are red like a red rose, and they glow. Now, red usually points to judgment, to gevurah, to intensity. But when the light of Atika shines into these cheeks, the red is sweetened and whiteness appears. The face shines. And the Zohar connects this directly to the priestly blessing. May Hashem make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. So here is the inner meaning. The face of Zeir Anpin can be red. It can be intense. It can carry judgment. But when ancient mercy shines into it, that red becomes beautiful. It becomes a rose. It becomes warmth instead of wrath. It becomes blessing. That is what we are asking for in Birkat Kohanim. We are not asking for a different God. We are asking for the face that deals with us to be illuminated from above. The sixth tikkun is the string of hair that goes around the beard and descends toward the chest. The Idra calls this one of the corners, one of the edges of the beard, and it connects it to the commandment not to destroy the corner of the beard. And the Zohar says this corner depends on Chesed. That means kindness has edges. Real Chesed is not chaos. Real kindness knows what it is protecting. It has a shape. It has a limit. It has a boundary that keeps the flow from being destroyed. That is a very important lesson. Some people think kindness means no boundaries. The beard of Zeir Anpin says the opposite. Without boundaries, kindness gets damaged. The edge of the beard protects the Chesed. The seventh tikkun brings us back to the mouth. The hairs do not hang over the mouth. The mouth is clear on every side. The hairs are arranged around it, but they do not block it. Because the mouth of Zeir Anpin has to speak. The breath has to emerge. The Zohar says that hosts upon hosts are sustained by the breath of this mouth, and that prophets are clothed in the breath that comes out of it. They are called the mouth of Hashem. And practically, this is one of the strongest teachings in the whole episode. Your speech also needs a clear mouth, not a blocked mouth, not a mouth covered by confusion, resentment, fear, or ego. Speech is holy when the channel is clear. This does not mean saying everything you think. It means the opposite. The hairs are arranged around the mouth. There is structure, but the mouth itself is not blocked. When the right word needs to come out, it can come out clean. That is prophecy. That is blessing. That is also honest prayer. The eighth tikkun descends under the beard and covers the back of the neck, so it is not seen. And the Zohar says something strange. Above, there is no back of the neck and no fatigue. But when Zeir Anpin goes out to war, the back of the neck becomes visible to show strength. The back of the neck represents the hidden place of strength, the place you do not normally see, the place behind the face. Most of the time, holiness does not show you its war posture. It stays covered. It stays modest. But when there is a real battle, when distortion has to be confronted, that hidden strength becomes visible. This is not rage. It is strength under discipline. The shields of the mighty hang there, the Zohar says. In other words, Zeir Anpin has the power to fight, but that power is usually concealed beneath the beard. It is covered until it is needed. The ninth tikkun is the completion. All the hairs join together in balance with the hanging hairs. Everything is arranged evenly, beautifully, like a mighty man who wins battles. And the Zohar connects this with Tiferet. The glory of young men is their strength. Tiferet is the key word. Beauty, balance, compassion, strength harmonized. That is where the 9 tikkunim are going. Not to aggression, not to softness, to balance, to the power of a face that can bless, judge, protect, forgive, speak, listen, and fight when necessary, all without losing its center. And now we can understand why David needed these channels. David was not living in abstraction. He was surrounded by enemies. He knew fear. He knew betrayal. He knew war. But he also knew how to pray from the narrow place until the narrow place opened. That is the whole work. To take the revealed face, the face that lives in the world of action, consequence, and conflict, and illuminate it with the ancient mercy above it. So let us bring it home. The beard of Zeir Anpin is the spiritual anatomy of strong mercy. Mercy with channels. Mercy with edges. Mercy with speech. Mercy with truth. Mercy that can protect. Mercy that can stand in battle and still remain beautiful. Not sentimental mercy. Not vague niceness. Not pretending nothing is wrong. But mercy that is strong enough to face what is wrong and still draw blessing through it. In part 7, we will move into the form of man itself. We will look at why the Idra says Atika Kadisha and Zeir Anpin are truly one. Why the full divine name is Yud-Ke Vav-Ke Elohim. And why the image of man includes male and female together. This is where the anatomy begins to turn into a complete vision of the divine human form. If you are new here, start with part 1 of this series and the Foundation series playlist. Thank you for being here. Thank you for learning these teachings with me. This is not just study. It is tikkun. It is the work of drawing ancient mercy into the revealed face of the world. I will see you in part 7. Shalom.